Hey everybody, it's GW. I am back here in front of the microphone again. Just gonna have a good time here for a little bit. Just doing a quick little discussion on things that are going on. Today is June 26, 2025. That's only important because it just kind of keeps track of when things are in the world. So, in the last week or so, we have had quite a bit going on in the world. It really is kind of interesting how some of the world kind of runs along and just does its thing. And then at my home, you have a little bit of karma that goes on. Now, the karma was this morning, I got up and for the first time this summer, I needed to turn on my irrigation system, my sprinklers. We have had such a wet spring and summer that I just haven't needed to have them on. So I went out this morning and made sure that they had turned on like they were supposed to. And I was very happy about that. And then I looked up and saw that it was cloudy. Now, when I went to bed last night, there was no rain in the forecast for most of the day. And even if there was going to be any rain, it was going to be late in the afternoon. It was going to be nothing much. So I got my golf clubs. I went to the golf course where I was supposed to play golf this morning. And as I showed up, it started raining. And it rained solid, pretty good amount for about an hour and a half. And I'm sitting there going, that is just pure karma. I mean, not only did I have one of the worst rounds of golf that I have had in a long time yesterday, but I get up this morning and I have, an even worse thing with my irrigation system. I just don't understand how all that happened. But it just seems like a fair thing. So I looked around and I says, well, what else has happened with karma here lately? Well, yesterday, the New York City had a mayoral primary election. And on the Democratic Party, you had Andrew Cuomo, who was running for mayor, and he was by far the favorite. I mean, he was the man that everybody knew his name. He's in his late 60s. He's been a career politician in the New York area, has done a lot of good things, but he's done a lot of things that has caused him to have some baggage as he went in there. Now, what happened is that a guy who nobody's ever heard of came in, and over the last couple months, maybe the last 6 weeks of this election, he just beat the tar out of Cuomo quietly. And come to find out, he won the primary election. So that was kind of karma, I think, for Cuomo. He just had too much baggage. It just wasn't going to work for him. He also had the fact that he was the old guard and the new guard is coming in to take over. And I think, I think that as you see the elections coming up in the next few months, in the next 18 months, I think that what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of the old guard who are going to decide to either retire or they're just not going to win the next election because it is time for a seismic shift in who's running our country. So let's get the old guys out and get the new guys in. And when I say guys, that is a gender neutral term. So whatever gender it is that wants to run and is qualified, go get them. So I think that that's going to be fun. By the way, that puts me out to pasture, which is really, I guess, good, but kind of unfortunate because, in all honesty, I am still looking for things to keep me busy. And that takes me to the retirement discussion that I have with myself quite often. I really do find retiring to be challenging. I have a look at a couple things like do something different every day and make sure that you keep yourself gainfully occupied. This podcast is part of that. And make sure that you have a good self worth of what you feel about yourself. That's a little more challenging some days. But what happens is that people tell you, well, you need to have more activities. Okay, well, I do have some activities, and some of them take up a little bit of time. Golfing is certainly one of those that takes up, more than a little bit of time. It takes up a lot of time. But I don't really volunteer for things. I mean, if somebody comes and asks me for support to something, I'm usually more than happy to give a little cash or write a check. But but I'm not the guy that goes, let me come down and help you organize that. And I will make sure that we have, everything in the world that we can possibly do to make that happen. I really wish that that was more in the tendency of what I do, but it's not. And I feel somewhat guilty, personally guilty about that. But I just don't see that that's ever really going to change. So I am what I am. So then you take a look at what it is that as I look at the people around me, my age, younger, and I go, well, what are they doing that they seem to be so busy, so occupied all the time? And what I have come to discover is that they have grandchildren, and they have grandchildren that are at the age of being in middle school and younger, and that there's places that they need to be ferried around to, and there are games that they need to play, and there's sporting events that they do, and they have recitals, and they have things that are going on that the grandchildren are doing. Well, I haven't been blessed with grandchildren yet, and trust me, I'm not encouraging my child to go out and suddenly start making grandchildren, but without having grandchildren in place, that means that I don't have that call going, oh, by the way, Susie Q is going to be down there and she's going to be playing her trumpet very badly, but you're going to go and you're going to enjoy it. And so, that's really, makes it so that the days have a little bit of extra time in them. That's kind of unusual. So, what can you do about that? Well, I could get a job. I could. I'm not sure what job. Maybe Walmart needs another greeter. Maybe I could go and yeah, well, I don't know what else I could do. But I'm sure that there would be something that I could probably find. But you know what? When you start having something that you have to do every day from 8 to 5, from 8 to 12, from 1 to 4, whatever it is, however many hours that you do, it becomes a job. And job, it very quickly becomes work. And work is kind of the thing that I was really happy to kind of get away from. So, not really sure that I have the patience or the discipline anymore for that. So here I am, just another guy grumping about his life. And, I doubt that anybody's going to find this any interesting at all. But if you do, I'd like to close this with what I think is going on in the world and with its current administration. I tried to think really hard about what the current administration could claim as successes. And I came up with two things. One, the the stuff with Iran that's going on right now. I mean, I don't think that the bombing of Iran and the bunker busting of Iran, which by the way was the actual act was accomplished with a great deal of secrecy and a great deal of planning, and it worked out really well. The fact that the bunker buster bombs itself, I mean, they can only go so deep into the earth. And the fact that they probably, according to reports that we've all seen, they probably didn't cause as much damage as we might have hoped. But they did set, the nuclear program for Iran back a little bit, a few months at least, maybe longer. And, it certainly slowed that down a little bit, and that's good because that allows diplomacy and other things to take root. Well, that's a problem because diplomacy is not something that this country does really well at this particular point in time. Now, the other thing they did though is that Trump has closed the borders. Now, that can be a positive. I mean, it as long as like everything is not taken to an extreme. But the closing the borders is one thing, and being more careful about who you let in the country. But the way that they're doing the deportations and that ICE is coming in and just knocking on your door and just taking people away, that's just wrong. That is just not right. So those are things that he could claim as accomplishments, and his supporters certainly will. Yeah, the other thing though that Trump is really good at is he's good at misdirection. He is good at taking his hand up here and waving it around, and oh my gosh, look at that! As he does that, and all of a sudden over here things are going on, and it's a magician trick, and so that's really about all you can do. So anyway, it's been a good week, been a good month. Have been hot. Gosh, it's been hot, but it's time. I mean, it's summertime, so it should be hot. So anyway, hope you all enjoyed this. Take a listen to it, and comment, mark, follow, send money, do whatever it is you got to do. And I'm GW. I enjoy doing these, and I will continue to do them every now and then. Thanks a lot.